Today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my favorite Fuji lenses of all time, and that is this one, the 35mm equivalent or 23 Fujifilm f2 lens. This lens is fantastic. I use it 90% of the time on my Fuji body, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I think it's one of the most underrated, amazing lenses you can buy for the Fuji system today. So first of all, this lens is extremely light and extremely small, and it's an f2 aperture. I mean, it does not open to an f1.4 like its older brother, but the fact that it even does f2 at this size and this weight is just amazing. I can't tell you how many times I just take this lens because it can fit in my bag without me having to feel like I'm carrying anything heavy. In terms of build quality, this thing is made of all metal. It's weather sealed, and it feels like a tank. It feels so tight and so compact, but it's also very, very light. And that's one of the reasons why I love it, and it goes with me everywhere. Now, one of my favorite things about this lens is the fact that the autofocus is so fast and so silent, and that makes it really nice for video. Next, let's talk about the image quality. This lens produces some fantastic images. Sharp corner to corner, very nice colors. Granted, it's a Fuji body, so you're going to get the nice colors automatically. The field of view for me is perfect. My favorite focal length is the 23mm or 35mm equivalent. That's because you can get some context. You can show your subject, but also have them within their environment. You can show them where they are. Whereas with the 50 or the 85, you start isolating your subject a little more, and you start to lose some of the context that surrounds your subject. That's why I feel like the 23mm is a really perfect focal length for just general use photography. One thing I also love about this focal length is that you can stand pretty close to someone and get them in the frame. If you're shooting with the 50mm, you have to be at least 2 or 3 feet away from them, and that makes shooting them really hard because you have to always be away from them. Whereas if you're just walking with someone, you can take a picture of them with the 23mm from a foot away, and you can still kind of have that close interaction with your subject. The aperture ring on this lens does click, and you'll hear it. It has a very nice, satisfying kind of click to it when you move the f-stops. It's like the perfect amount of weight to this ring and the perfect amount of sound to let you know where you are. With every 3 clicks, you go on to the next number. So to go from 2 to 28, all I have to do is just go like this, and it goes there automatically. I don't really have to look at any numbers or look at any menus or anything like that. It's kind of like I became so used to the system. All I have to do is just do 3 clicks and I'm at the next number. I really can't fault this lens for anything, given the fact that it's at the price point that it is. The lens costs, I think, $400 brand new. You can get them for like $280 used. I think for that price, you really cannot beat this lens. It is such a value for how much you spend on it. If you are trying to decide between the 23 f1.4 and the 23 f2, I would say get the f2. I have tried the 1.4. I actually bought it and I returned it because of how loud the autofocus was and how much slower it was than this lens. It does produce a little bit of sharper images, and the bokeh does look a little nicer, but not that much nicer. I don't think the difference warrants $400 more and a bigger lens and slower autofocus and a clunkier design. I don't think it's worth it. It depends on what you're going to be doing mostly. If you're going to be doing portraits and mostly studio kind of work, then maybe it makes sense. But if you're going to do any kind of movement with this lens, any kind of video at all, I would not even give the 1.4 a chance. I would just get the f2 and you will not be disappointed. Alright guys, I'm going to be doing a lot more photography stuff on this channel. Photography and videography are, my 2 biggest passions in life. I'm constantly playing with gear and reading gear reviews, and I'm going to really make this a more important part of my life. Please, if you liked what you heard today or you have an idea for something, please let me know, message me, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.